Today we're going to talk about how to deal with green hair algae in your reef tank. Hey guys, Devin with ReefDudes. Now today we're going to deal with an Ask ReefDudes questions from Troy about how to get rid of green hair algae. Now green hair algae is one of those things that I've seen lots of people talk about and complain about, and it can plague your tank, but it's really not that hard to deal with. There's a few simple things that we can do. Now the first, green hair algae is a very simple algae, and it generally comes from a mixture of either A, too much light, and generally paired with too many nutrients in your tank. So the first kind of way to deal with it, if it is too much light, maybe reduce your photo period by an hour or so, or decrease intensity a little bit. So that's going to help it feel a little bit less. Now, if it doesn't have all these nutrients, it's not going to have a strong hold and be kind of tough algae growing in your tank. So if you have really high phosphates, usually it's going to be harder to remove it. If you want to make it really easy on yourself, if you start to use something like, I think there's phosphate RX or like a lanthanum chloride, which are kind of a chemical way. There's also something like GFO, granular oxide. Now running any of these are going to absorb the phosphates in your tank. Now once your phosphates are really low, the hair algae will literally pull off like nothing, so it'll be really easy to remove. So the first step would be to remove as much as you physically can right off the bat. This is going to make it easier on yourself to deal with it later. Now once you've removed as much as you can, there's a couple of different creatures you can get to kind of help you out with it. On the snail side, which you can add to any tank, would be something like your Astrina, your margarita snails, or turbo snails. Those guys all eat hair algae. Not all, but majority of them will. And will generally do a pretty good job. Like, they're not going to eat giant mats of it, but there's little bits on the rock. Like, once you pulled it off, they should take care of that. Now, on the fish side, the lawnmower blenny is probably the most obvious one that people know. And most of the blennies in general, actually, it's kind of hit or miss pin on the individual fish, but a lot of them will kind of munch at it. I have a little tail spot in here, and I've seen him take the odd little munch on it. So I don't actually have any hair algae on this side of the tank. It's literally only in this one area. Maybe that's just because it's not where my tail spot goes. Who knows? So today we're going to deal with that. Now the one other kind of method that I've personally used in the past is spot treating with hydrogen peroxide. So this is 3% peroxide, stuff you can just buy at kind of like the pharmacy. And now with this, you do not want to use too much. Because this will kill the hair algae, it will weaken it. Now it's not only going to deal with the hair algae, it could potentially kill your beneficial bacteria. It could potentially be harmful to, fish or corals and whatnot. So you don't want to use too much of this. What I've always used is 1 milliliter per 10 gallons. So in this tank, it's 20 gallons, 2 milliliters. Then maybe it'll take me a few days to treat it. So I'll do a little spot treat here. Maybe in a couple days, I'll do another little spot until I kill off whatever's left at the base and the root. So that's kind of a quick way. So let's kind of dig in. I'll show you guys what I got in the tank, where it is, and we'll pull some out and we'll give it a spot treat. Yeah, so this whole half of the tank, the part that actually gets a bit of sun and other stuff, not an issue. Everywhere else is like perfectly fine. You can kind of see my little tail spot blenny there. Every once in a while he comes out and he'll take a little munch. Oh, little camera shy right now, but as you can see, like, he will go over there, and he must be the one keeping the rest of the tank clean, because there actually was a few little tufts of it over on this half about a week ago, and they seem to have gone away. I've kind of been letting it grow a little bit because I figure it's a good excuse to make a video on it. Now when removing this, I always first turn off the water flow. I do this just so if any little particles are, they're less likely to spread around your tank. Let's put a little bit of water in here, and reach in and just pull off a tuft. So as you can see, like, comes off very, very easy. That comes off like nothing. Now, I have a little bit of water in here in the little cup, is because it makes it easy to get the algae off your finger. Otherwise it'll kind of stick to it a bit more. Or this way, you just give it a slight dip and it will kind of release into the cup. Now, that's a random kind of side point. It's another reason why it's kind of important to leave yourself some space around your aquascape, not have it right up against the glass. Even this is a little bit on the tighter side, just trying to get my hand in there and pull off stuff. Whereas the more space you have around it, the easier it makes your life going forward. So something to keep in mind when you aquascape your tank. Now next I'm going to take a syringe and suck up some of my 3% peroxide. And I'm just very slowly releasing the syringe just right around the actual spots. So doing this locally minimizes the fact that the peroxide or the hydrogen peroxide is going to have anywhere else in the tank. If you look closely where I actually treated, you'll see all the little bubbles going up in the air. Now the bubbles actually oxidize, and that's kind of partially what helps kill it. So you know it's working because you've seen all these little bubbles in the tank going up. There's basically our treatment. It's really that easy. It doesn't take much at all, so don't let yourself get overrun by hair algae. You can definitely beat it, so don't worry about that. If this was a really bad problem, and I could remove the rocks. I'd probably take them out of the tank one at a time, and maybe every week I would treat a different rock with hydrogen peroxide. I wouldn't want to do this in the tank on a large scale, obviously, but if you could easily remove out a rock, I mean, doing it out of tank is your best bet. So if you guys enjoyed this, as always, hit that thumbs up button. If you have your own questions, reefdudes.com/ask, let me know, and I will get back to you or answer it on the air. All right, guys, catch you guys in the next video. Look at that, doing his job perfect. So there's a testament to the tail spot blending right there. Even do it on camera for us. See, he's showing you guys.